149 pounds, Kody Komara from Freedom, Pennsylvania. National qualifier going up against a guy who knows his way around the national tournament quite well, Sammy Sasso.
Gotta imagine Komara being from Freedom, Pennsylvania. I have to imagine that they have a rocking 4th of July party.
Of course.
It's got to be the best.
Of course.
Best around.
It's got to be the biggest part of the summer.
Yeah.
The vast majority of the town's budget is spent on the fireworks and
yep, American flags.
Of course, the fire departments that have to come along with that.
Yep. So Komara, at his tournaments this year, placed 5th at the Mountaineer Invitational and 3rd at the Navy Classic. He is an NCAA qualifier, so he gets in deep on a shot with Sasso.
If you don't finish clean, you might not finish at all against Sammy Sasso. Once you get into a scramble situation such as this, he tends to come out on top more than not.
Not Sammy's traditional position that he's in when
no.
Usually a little bit more short offense than the guy coming out the back door, but we're going to get a new stalemate call there, so we'll be back neutral.
Sammy has not had his usual dominant results early in the season, but had a very nice tournament in Vegas.
Yeah, really nice. So here's his little bread and butter right here, this position. Komara just hanging onto the ankle right now. Sasso potentially trying to lock up a cradle. No call yet.
Well, he's almost got exposure here. Nearly in the danger position, but instead, Sasso will get the corner and turn it into 2.
Sasso had a couple of nice wins. He was the sole champion at the Las Vegas Cliff Keen Invitational. Had an 8-2 decision over Yaya Thomas, ranked 7th from Northwestern. And Arizona State's Kyle Parko, ranked number 5. Sasso was able to edge out a 6-2 victory against him.
Now he gets the takedown after a scramble situation here.
Keeping that leg like a Kerry Colap position. Or Zane Rutherford. Looks like they're going to run out of room, though.
Both of whom did not care a whit for the health of your knee.
No, not at all. Not a lick. So Sasso with 22 seconds of riding time, leading 4-1 with 1:15 in the first period still. No quick movements off the whistle. He's going to come out front to a front headlock. Looks like he's going to give him the escape.
We had Sammy on the broadcast during wrestle-offs. There was not a wrestle-off at 149, so he joined us here on the broadcast. And said he really wanted to stop wrestling those 3-1, 3-2 type matches and get way more into his offense. Looking for his 3rd takedown of the match here. Oh, is that going to be a potentially dangerous call? They'll give the takedown and a potentially dangerous.
That's interesting.
I think it was Sammy's knee that was bound in the weird spot.
Yeah, usually I feel like in that position, as soon as you award the takedown, the bottom guy's going to let go of the leg.
Sequence went the other way there.
Yeah, for the most part, Sammy's avoided those kinds of matches. He's got quite a few falls this year. Looks like 6 falls, 2 technical falls, and just 4 decisions. 2 of those were losses, which were both close. But yeah, he has avoided more so this year those close wins.
Good high C, another takedown. Again, right back to working that knee.
Coming back to it. Looks like he might be able to get some back points here as him on the hip, flattened out.
There the hips are turned. There the chin is caught. He only got 1 swipe, though, from the referee because the shoulders were not quite in a near fall criteria, and he will get no points.
Nothing there. Good defense by Komara. Sasso just over a minute of riding time in that first period, picking up 4 takedowns.
And for Komara, not only good defense, but showing toughness there because that is a painful position.
That hurts.
So to not give in and to keep your shoulders out of near fall criteria shows you he's a tough customer.
Those moves are designed that it's much more comfortable if you go to your back.
Yes.
It's very tempting when you're in a lot of pain to be like, yeah, I could stop experiencing this if I just went over a little bit and gave this guy a couple points.
Ankle pick now from Sasso, trying to power through the body and turn it into a takedown, and will do so. Into major territory here, 11-3 lead with riding time up over a minute as well.
I'm not sure what you call that hold.
I call it back points.
Yeah, that's hard to get out of. You got nothing to drive off of.
There is just nothing but legs bound up. Now he's got it planted to the mat, looking to plant the shoulders to the mat. And Komara again showing good toughness to get himself out of that situation. It will be a 4-point near fall.
So a 15-3 lead for Sasso. Another 4-point turn is going to get him the technical fall.
A 2-pointer would do it if you tack on the riding time point, but it wouldn't end the match immediately.
It's coming back to that bow and arrow leg. Wow, really pulling on it.
That's torque.
Oof.
Things are in bounds, and the count begins. There's the 2, and the 4 is going to get it to a tech fall.
See if he tries a reposition for the pin, or if he's just going to take the technical fall. Looks like he's not just letting him roll over, but not a lot of room to work with.
No, he's got 1 foot still in bounds, but as soon as that slides out, they'll get a stoppage. And actually, now that there's a base out, there should be a stoppage as the 4 points are awarded.
Nothing yet. Okay, there it is.
And that'll be a technical fall, 19-3. I will speak to an ignorance of the rules here. In that situation with a technical fall, do they tack the riding time point on anyway to make it officially 20-3?
No. There's only at the end of a
match
regulation
has to finish
match,
the match.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but then I was doubting myself.
Yeah. Not that it really matters.
Right. So 9-0 becomes 14-0. Buckeyes on top. Oh, we do have a change for Kent State at 174. Mason Karpinski, that is right, he'll be in at 174. Michael Ferree was originally listed at 174, but it will be Mason Karpinski, a sophomore out of Greenville, Pennsylvania. And Ethan Smith to a hard collar tie right away. And we talked about this earlier, a high rate of attack, and guess what? He's in on a shot.
Yeah, Smith, another one of the Buckeyes battling injury. He did medical forfeit out of the Las Vegas tournament. Doesn't seem to be slowing him down right now, but he does have his left knee taped and a knee pad on as well. So again, we talked about this. It's still midseason. Coaches are going to want to take it easy on injuries. It doesn't seem like it's a major injury for Smith, but you probably want to have him recover if possible.
Certainly, whatever the case, good enough to go today. Not much of a halftime break here. Oftentimes you'll have with lengthier layoff in between match 5 and match 6, but I guess both teams must have said to heck with that. Let's get after it.
Yeah, I got places to be on this Sunday afternoon.
Sure. Not only do you have in-state rivals wrestling right here, but also you have in-state rivals going in the NFL today. Cleveland and Cincinnati locking it up.
That's the game today? I don't follow the NFL that close. Basically just college wrestling.
You mean you have other things that you're interested in?
I try to.
He's a man of the world.
So Smith riding tough, got a spiral ride off on the left side. Has the ankle hooked. Now just over a minute of riding time for Smith. Again, a lot of hard riding we're seeing from the Buckeyes. Smith, a Latrobe, Pennsylvania native. Pennsylvania known for their riding a little bit more than the Ohio boys are.
Certainly. Well, the Buckeyes have been pretty good today in all positions, really. On their feet, they've had the vast majority of the takedowns. There's not been really much in the way of bottom time. Gotten off the bottom pretty quickly. Wilcox there at 157 kind of was the exceptions. Looked like the tank got a little bit empty there in the third period.
Get an optional start as we start, and there's going to be an escape for Karpinski. Smith not phased by that slide-by attempt. It's going to drop into a leg.
Now trying to score on the edge. Always tricky to keep that forward and not run out of room.
Man, that's a takedown.
It is indeed. The referee agrees with you.
Took
it took him a bit. He got there.
That was really good wrestling there by Smith. He kept switching which way he was finishing. He was going to try to finish in front, then circle back, then front, then back, and eventually able to get the takedown. Just kept moving. That was really good. Gonna restart with a minute left.
And almost, well, now over a minute and a half of riding time.
Looks like we'll see another escape from Karpinski.
So 2 takedowns for Smith already here in the first period, looking for a third.
Nice knee pull single. Gonna try to finish in the air. Tree tops it.
And that should be 2. Yep. Indeed it is. The referee just wanting to be very deliberate, make sure of his calls.
Doesn't want to have to wave anything off.
Right. And listen, I respect that. I would rather you make sure, see what you see.
Mm-hmm.
You get into a lot of confusing situations when that happens, when you make the call too early and then have to wave it off. Nobody's happy when that happens.
No.
6-2 as the first period comes to a close. Already 2:05 on the riding time clock for Smith. Ethan's one of those guys who has just always been right on the cusp, but hasn't quite broken through maybe the way he would like, certainly, or the team would like.
Yeah, had an All-American finish 2 years ago, but came up short last year. Certainly thinks that that's where he's supposed to be. Karpinski will start on bottom, and he'll get an escape to start the second.
Immediately back in on that high seat, and another takedown.
Yeah, that knee is not slowing Smith down at all.
At this level, everybody's dealing with something, whether it's a finger or a shoulder or an elbow that is not 100%. Somebody took a day off when they weren't feeling well. Nobody be in the practice room.
Yeah. Smith coming out front. A little reluctant to give the escape. Might be trying to pull a little trickery.
Well, we saw it from referee's position earlier. Jump to the side, look for a cradle if that head was going to stay down.
Another head inside single. He's going to, again, tries to finish backside, goes immediately to the front side.
And it's a great thing for young wrestlers, really, of any age, to watch, to finish takedowns in that way.
Yeah. Just try one thing. If that doesn't work, try another thing. Constantly changing the position.
10-4, Smith on top. The delay here is Karpinski gets himself set.
Smith going to come out front. So assuming Smith gets down another shot, I want you to watch his finish. Comes front. Oh, they didn't really have to adjust, but.
Yeah, that finish. It was very similar position, but Karpinski was near the out of bounds line. Maybe felt like he could defend a little bit better there than he could center of the mat. There, he just didn't want to wind up exposed. But when he did defend, then Smith, you could almost see he didn't feel like he needed to switch. His body just switched. He was so ready when he felt the pressure, stopping the one side, immediately went to the other side.
Very reactive.
12-5 lead heading to the third period. Smith with choice of position. No point in going down underneath. Just keep that takedown clinic going. Karpinski gets in on a shot that's not going to do him any good.
Thought he had the cradle locked up.
So did the crowd. You could hear the oohs
Yeah,
as they thought near fall and maybe a fall was coming.
They were getting excited. So 14-5 lead, has the major right now. Wants more.
Has riding time pretty much secured. Well, more than secured.
Right
Great
back.
level change. He's trying to work through this position. He's just not rushing here.
No.
He understands he's in a very good spot, even with the ankle control for Karpinski. He's in a really good spot to try and finish this takedown. So not panicking, not rushing, just continuing through the position, now up 10 points. Functionally 11.
Just a minute left. Smith needs 4 more, so a turn would do that, which he seems to be in good position to get. Not.
Now you got one swipe. Boy, that's, now we're going to get him.
Okay.
Yep. And that will make it a 14-point scoreboard margin with a riding time point to come. See if Smith adjusts here and works for the fall.
Yeah, it's got 40 seconds or so. This is going to be a tough adjustment to get to the fall since he doesn't have the arm
So
strapped.
far across, you got to really settle back. Karpinski will belly out, and if Karpinski gets an escape here, that would negate the tech fall. 20 seconds to get it.
I don't think he's going to with that knee tied up.
Boy, that knee is tied up. You ain't kidding.
Smith might try to end this prior to the end of the regulation, but
that won't happen, but the tech fall will as the clock hits triple zeros. 21-6, the final score. Smith with the tech fall victory.
saw a variety of takedowns from Smith, a lot of different finishes. He's just a good wrestler.
There's not a whole lot he can't do.
Yeah.
Sends us on to 184 pounds now. And another guy who's a pretty darn good wrestler in his own right for the Ohio State Buckeyes, Kaleb Romero, ranked 4th in the nation. And he'll be taking on senior Tyler Bates. Bates, another Central Ohio native. Wrestled at Marysville High School. Redshirt senior.
This is Justin Bieber. If you can't hear
I'll have to take your word for it.
Can't hear it on the feed. It's
I
Mistletoe.
do not have Bieber fever.
It's Mistletoe by Justin Bieber. Oh, his Christmas album is fantastic. You gotta listen to it.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, that's good.
These No Burl Lives.
That's a confident man that chooses this song to walk out to.
It certainly is. It certainly is. He is in the holiday spirit. And just now making his way to the mat, there is Kaleb Romero. Romero in seemingly his 10th year on campus.
He's a veteran for sure. The second highest ranked Buckeye on the team.
Immediately in on a shot. Bates fights it off to get back to neutral.
Shot attempt from Bates, but not able to get a lock. And Romero just looks powerful.
That's always been the case from his first day on campus, and really even before that. And it really seemed like he kicked into another type of gear when he just allowed the body to grow and get to a higher weight class.
Yep.
I can't remember, was this freshman year 57 or 65?
Was he ever that light? There's no way he was a 57.
Let's go back and look. Single up off the mat. Bates continues to defend, but now in a danger position. He will give up on the defense, bail out, and give up the takedown. Something tells me 65 was the lowest weight class Romero was at.
So his red shirt year, it doesn't list his weight. I know how to check. So 26.
Back to neutral, 2-1. Wrestled 165 in 2019.
They have him. Oh, that's weird. I went back to their historical roster, but it has like his current stats.
Ah, well, he currently just hit a tremendous shot and finish. Almost able to turn it into back points, but there's something to be said for knowing when to give up your position. And right there, Bates was heading to his back on the takedown, bailed out, and got back to belly.
Man, it's a throwback looking at these old rosters.
So 4-1, Romero with the lead. 23 seconds to go here in the first period. So we talked about guys that are high rate of attack and guys that aren't. Romero's kind of that in between where there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of motion, there's a lot of half shots, but not a ton of committed shots. So he has to finish a pretty high percentage of his.
He's a little bit more tactical and intentional about his shots. He'll often commit from space for his blast double. But should we say he was a 65? Is that what the verdict was? His freshman
I believe 2019, they called it 165. Well, that's quick reversal.
Yeah, less than 5. So now a 6-1 lead for Romero. He's got just over a minute of riding time at 1:03. Oh, so he was at 174, then went down to 65, then up to 74, 74, then 84. Huh.
His redshirt year wrestled at 174. And his
Really
redshirt freshman 165.
Good go behind by Romero, trying to treetop it now, but running out of room. It looks like he's got it.
If they get a takedown, there's going to be a brick. Because it looked like all points of contact were out of bounds momentarily.
I think he still had his toes in.
Yeah, they're going to sit on that green brick over in the corner.
I don't think the outcome of the match is in jeopardy.
We have not had a challenge yet so far throughout the course of this dual meet. You get one, you're wrong, you lose it.
At least you don't lose any points.
That's true. International wrestling, you can challenge, but if your challenge is unsuccessful, the opponent gets a point.
Kind of a half shot there.
That's a great change of direction. Talked about that with Ethan Smith after a shot, trying to get through the defense there from a neutral position. Excellent lateral direction change, an escape, and right in on that shot. There's that double you were talking about from space.
That's hard to stop.
It's coming at you at full speed. If your feet aren't already in motion, it's too late.
I thought Jordan Burroughs was wrestling in Iowa right now, not in Columbus.
Very reminiscent. And Romero wants to go back to feet. He just wants takedowns, takedowns, takedowns.
If you want some good wrestling to watch later this evening at 7 p.m., I believe, Team USA is wrestling Team Iran for the World Cup Championship final.
I like that format a lot.
Yeah,
I think that's a very, very interesting point. That's an interesting takedown there. Level change, quickly out to the side, around the corner, and takedown. And getting to see dual meet format on the international stage, to me that's very interesting. It allows, if you're in the arena, it's great, but if you're watching on a broadcast, it really allows you to get to know, boy, what a tremendous change of level there. The setup was outstanding for Romero as we see the replay, but you can get to know these national teams in a way that you don't often in the Olympics.
Right.
Because there's a good chance you're not going to see the wrestler from Kazakhstan in the weight class that you're watching.
Yeah. And at most, you have 3 guys from your team wrestling in a given day.
Right. Now, the wrestling community in the United States of America is very dedicated. Another excellent takedown from the side from Romero. Puts him up 16-6.
Leading by 10, effectively 11. Well, now effectively 10. Probably going to need some back points if he wants to get that technical fall. It's really hard to get it without it.
Especially with the new, there's a stall call, but the
as he shoots.
Right.
Poor
the
guy.
4-point near fall has changed a lot of strategy in college wrestling.
Yeah.
Now, what we have seen for the Buckeyes is the ability to get late match near fall points after racking up a lot of takedowns.
There's single leg by Romero.
There's opportunity with that half. With the arm kind of caught inside, winged up, it's tough to get that half. He threw it at the right place at the right time. There just wasn't an arm there to get underneath.
Looks like he's going to try to get it the old takedown way.
Quick change of direction, one way then the other.
He's got time. He's got 30. So what's he up, 13 now?
13, make it 12 after the escape issued here. So if he gets a takedown, the ride time point would do it.
Yeah, takedown, ride out. Sometimes this last one could be the hardest one to get.
There it is. 10 seconds left on the clock.
24-10. Were those all takedowns?
One escape point. Well, it had to be. Oh, he chose. Did he choose neutral?
Did he?
24-10. Tech fall the hard way. And team score goes to 24-9. Buckeyes on top, heading on to 197 and